Christ was alive. Please allow me to introduce this team. Caked up with smile and shoes. Just seems like Vikram's been here a long, long time. I think Anka keeps feeding him Romanian cuisine. Cassie tries to alkaline snow to stand while feeding. Celebrate our Alaskan crew. Pleased to meet them. Hope you know their names. I think he's 7. One of the main reasons that I did that is because this class to me is defined by community. I think here at the residency, we're always spending a lot of time on academic rigor and being on time and dressed right, but what really matters is community. And the third-year class has demonstrated that, and the second and first-year classes have learned from them. Don't forget the importance of community. So, in alphabetical order, please, Dr. Kate Barris. Just like a maple tree, she is a homegrown Maine product. And if tapped, she does flow with sweet syrup. Not too sugary, though. I remember the middle of the night when she came to me, hands on her white-coated hips, and said, "What do you want, Sherlock?" I was just watching. She's our paradox. Like the maple, wonderful to see in all her vibrant leaf-like colors. And again, like that stalwart tree, she investigates and solves her patients' problems with a maple wood hardness. In short, she's beautiful, powerful, bountiful, and good. She'll be hanging out with us. She's doing the Fairfield Four Seasons practice. So I'm sure she will confront me many times in the future. Dr. Kate Barris. She hasn't told us the whole story. Dr. Vikram Tani, please. Sometimes I think calling Vikram mellow is an overstatement. One night I had to rush in for a delivery of mine. Vikram was there, and we suspected a large baby. And I was a little late, and there was Vikram smiling and serene as he held that almost 11-pound baby that would have cost me a coronary artery. I don't think Vikram has a car. He bicycles to work pretty regularly. I know he doesn't have electricity because he washes and dries his clothes at the FMI. And there's a most wonderful picture of him on the sofa where he's comatose, and he has his hand on his sleeping baby girl. I envy his calm. Believe me, I envy his calm. His yoga-ish being but mostly is kindness with all the staff, all his patients, and with me. Vikram's headed back to Boston to be reunited with his wife, and he will get a job because soon she will be eating solid food. Dr. Vikram Gupta. Dr. Catherine Figge. On the other hand, and in contrast, we have Catherine Figge, a tightly coiled character as wound up as her hair. She can easily spring from one task to another, but she never ends in a spiral. She can't straighten her hair or her personality, but she's very good at straightening out her patients. Figge wants to do it all. Babies, procedures, critical care, and she will do it. Because she is as expansive as the outdoors she loves. And the more she does, the wider our earth feels. She's going to hang around with Jeff, waiting for Ziggy, and then she's going to head out to Harper's Ferry, one of my favorite places. Dr. Catherine Figge. Dr. Cassandra Generlett. Was it that bad? Am I singing? Yeah. Cassie. A person cannot be more capable and more in control than Cassie. It is hard to believe she was raised on a Caribbean beach where she undulated to the waves. But if the tides can be stopped for a reason, that would be Cassie, silencing the opposing power, bringing her own laboring pushes to our patients, solving, thinking, caring, and giving. She is and will be a great doctor, and I've already lined up my friends to see her, because she is forsaking the sand and sun of the Caribbean and bringing her seashells to the Winthrop family practice. You know, see, her husband's son will visit us often, Dr. Cassandra Generlett. Everybody's taller. Dr. Anka Sisu. I can't pronounce any of her names. Sisu? Sisu. Good thing I didn't rhyme that, huh? Anka is smart. She knows her P Ankas from her C Ankas and all the other medical Ankas. Unusual for us, she's a rational person who can apply her knowledge in a stepwise, coherent, reasoned package. And yet, she has a beautiful smile, a welcoming presence. Anka can merge the hardness of academia with the softness of alternative practices. The result, she is a healer. Not surprising that she grew up in a dictatorship. And she came here to America with her Romanian resolve to overcome any obstacles. But she also brings that Transylvanian Dracula-like romance and dress. We were all quite proud this year when Alma and her husband became American citizens. As she told me, she and her husband had to keep up with their son, Victor. I don't think she knows what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing. I know we want her to do a certain thing, but she'll be good at whatever she chooses. Dr. Anna Sisu. There's some friends of Edward Snowden here, Persis Hope and Jen Ventusi. Nice of you to come by. I'm retired.
So I think Andy Rice is going to come up next and give the graduation certificates to graduating Fairfield residents.
Turbach, with your glasses on, I think mine are off. That's what I do. Last year, I tried hooking this up with not very good results. Well, I know Harry always gets a little nervous when I go to coding, but I won't, I don't know what to say. Maybe you should pre-medicate. A Versed, maybe. Well, I hate to disappoint this year, but I'm usually selected. A few times I've done this for my absurd sense of humor, and people are looking for a little mirth or entertainment. But I'm going to keep it extremely serious tonight. Well, not So if you could have a theme for, I've got these three wonderful people to present to you, and tonight I think the theme is more what I've learned or what we've learned from each of the residents in Fairfield, and less so what they've learned from us. Of course, the way the bodybuilding is dedication to Jason. I'm sure you notice being around and you're a little self-conscious about your own physique sometimes. But I noticed over the time, Jason's going to be first, but over the time he's been here, all of us have sort of paid more attention ourselves, to our own sort of fitness, I should say, and I just wanted to pay tribute to some people who worked really hard in the spirit of this, And, the first is Harry. He was stripped years away, literally. His hair turned black. I don't know what. This was a while ago. Mike is great. Rusty, you got it. Can anyone pick out Jason in this picture? I'll give you a hint. He's right there. Jason's I'm trying to think of words to best describe Jason. He's intense, driven. I mean, he's one of the more efficient people I know. I mean, coming from me, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but I mean, I should say he's on the way far end of the spectrum compared to me. And he, sometimes has been known because of his restless spirit, wanting to get work done, wanting to move on to the next thing, to be a little directive to some of the MAs. Maybe could you get my patients? What's the holdup? And he became, he developed a little bit of a reputation as sort of a male diva or princess. He's mellowed out, as he's matured here in his 3 years, he's mellowed out. And Jason was, from what I remember him starting, talking a lot about, his plans were not to stay around here necessarily. Something happened along the way, I don't know, and his mind was changed. And Jason will be, we're fortunate that Jason will be staying to work at Augusta Family Practice, which will be the new hospital site. I'm going to do one other thing, which is a little, I just want to recognize, too, that within, not that long ago, Jason got some bad news about his dad. And, sorry, but I want you to know that we all support you. And I don't know if we can give more round of applause. Next is Joe's, sitting hiding in the back. I've not been known to sing these things, of course. I won't hurt you with my singing, but I was sitting here last night looking at these slides and I'm thinking, what do I say about Joe's in the back of my head? I'm like, you got all the pigment in this picture. I'm done. I've really enjoyed, I've been lucky to get to go to Haiti with Joe's, not once but twice. And I think it really was informative for me in a number of ways. Especially in learning about him as a person, and also his culture and his home. But I think, I don't know if you know much about Joe's, but I definitely saw a different side of him, I think, than most people would see. And he's an extraordinarily caring person who always looks out for people. And you could see this, working side by side with Joe's in the clinic, in the way that he would care for people, pay attention to them. And I just want to share one thing Joe said, which was that we had these discussions about such a trip where you go down to a country like Haiti and try to do some good, but it's very much rapid fire. You filtering people through a clinic, and may or may not be doing that much good for them. And Joe's told me an anecdote about some children that sat there talking to him, and it occurred to me the gravity of him going back as a physician and talking to these people and what it meant. And it's, I think he's such a kind soul that any of you who spend any time with him, I'm sure know this. And he's also, I think Joseph is a family man. He's known to be there for his family. I know sometimes we see the tasks that he doesn't do. No, I'm just kidding. But people say that about me too. But Joseph has suffered through several months now without his own family, but I'm sure is happy to be almost reunited. He'll be heading down to Coral Springs, Florida. He's going to be doing mostly outpatient practice. And most importantly, he'll be with his people. It's taken Joseph a few years to acclimate to the Maine climate. I remember questions about what happens when it snows? How do you get out of the driveway? Do I need to buy like a shovel? And now, more recently, Joseph's worried that he might start sweating when he goes back to Florida. He'll actually feel hot. Joseph certainly left an impression on us. And this were his scrapbook, I think it would say, hanging with some belongs. I just want to thank Gary and Rick for saying everything I was about to say about Eric. This is Eric Healy, as you've already come to know. Eric is a very interesting fellow who we're all lucky to have worked with. One of the more dedicated, self-motivated learners I think that I've known. I remember, you sit down to precept Eric and he kind of comes up and he's like, well, I was going to do this, that, and the other, and he said it tells you about a few articles that you read, and you're kind of like, okay. Yeah, I think I do that too. It's cool. What's he talking about here? Eric is very, he's got a very subtle sense of humor, as I've come to find out, but it's there, definitely. He likes to laugh. He is definitely able to speak directly and with purpose to people without offending or being too pushy at all. Eric, as you know, you heard about his acupuncture certification. And he's actually, so far, he's racked up 3 board certifications. He's got family medicine under his belt, integrative medicine, and acupuncture. And let's... Pretty impressive. And I got to thinking about Eric, and at this rate, where he might be in a few years. There's been a little bit of investment so far, but I figure by 2017 he could be board certified in everything. He's going to have to raise some money, and I like to think about as he's going out and starting his new practice. There's a story. Things that might help him to be a little bit more speedy or efficient. And as you know, he's very good at acupuncture. And I came up with a scheme of sort of an invention. This is what I like to do. And I was going around the office recently trying to find somebody that would allow me to, like, I gotta work out the kinks a little bit. I want to give this to him tonight. You know, I don't know why people reacted that way. I was just telling them, you know, it's not dangerous. It's just acupuncture. It's not gonna hurt you. Just little needles. They go in your skin. It doesn't really take them out. You feel better. I mean, I pleaded. I got down on my hands and knees and pleaded. And then, like, you know, I'll remember this before. Finally, I found somebody who's willing to let me try this out. You load. You don't want to set the pressure too high because it'll come right out the other side of the head. There's a lot of points on the ear where this is just perfect. You can get. Eric, we'll miss you for sure. I hope you stay in touch and keep feeding us your knowledge from afar. Eric's going down to Amarillo, Texas, where his family works. He's going to be leaving tonight to get to the airport in Boston, and then heading down, starting work Monday. I think, aside from being the first resident to ever get certified in acupuncture, he's the fastest resident to leave with the same day after graduation as well. So, Eric, come on up. Eric is also getting a plaque in recognition of his service as chief resident.
So I think Karen Bershman is going to present the graduation certificate to the graduating fellow for the international program.
Anna Espiritu has a really bad migraine tonight, and she's here. So let me just start and see if she can make that fun. So, Anna Espiritu, she's on the phone for a long time. First the frustrated daughter, then the frustrating wife. The two of them don't get along. Yes, lawyers have been called. They talk through Anna. She is their interpreter, their solace, their guide. That's what she does, you know. She talks with patients at their pace. She slows way down to talk, to joke, to tease, to cajole, to touch them and take them in their finest detail. A friend. In her Filipino culture, she tells me, doctors don't have high horses. Meandering through many cultures, she allows people their differences without label. And when she is judged, she has faith, knowing in her firmament that personal connection will win the day. So she dreams of returning to Afghanistan, where conversation by conversation, she will see the wound get healthier, stronger. And we will dream of healing, wherever you are, ministering to the ills of your own folks, and that uncomplicated way yours are the spirit.
last graduation certificates are going to be presented by Marcus Sutherland for the Neuromuscular Medicine +1 group.
I've taken over a role from Kat Brandt as the program director for our residency director for the and also I'm the clinical director for the UBCC. I just want to take a second. The staff at the clinic, Michelle Stewart, Farrington, Jody, who's new on the staff, and we've got staff coming on. And we're a clinic that do all our referring in the community and actually the Quebec Valley as well as beyond. We're getting referrals from outside of the area. And we're able to, I think, create a collaborative approach to care in the community and really bring something special. And the osteopathic component, for osteopaths, you can expand your education and get an added, it's like a certificate of added qualification, yet it's its own fellowship process in osteopathic rehabilitative medicine. And these three residents have made their way through, and starting with Nellie. Nellie came to our program off-cycle from her family practice residency in February of this last year. And when I took over from the program, Kat had just moved to her new position down at the University of New England. But from the beginning, Nellie really took a strong ownership in her clinic position and about her patients. Her caring touch and her smiling heart are always there for the patients who come and see her. Her laughter could always be heard echoing through the halls of the main Dartmouth Collaborative Care Clinic. And throughout her time with us, she grew to be loved by not only the staff, but all of her colleagues and the patients that she works with. But Nellie has another side as well, and she's a little bit of a kidder that I found. I recall the first weeks coming to me describing straight-faced the patient encounter that sounded more like a comedy of errors with significant red flags with a straight face. And then suddenly I saw this slight curve on the edge of her mouth that made me realize that she was pulling my leg. And it took me a bit, but I was able to always tell because she came in and would always have some extravagant, far-reaching comments to make about the problem that she was bringing. But throughout our time, I really come to appreciate the gifts that she brings to the work that we have, the respect, the integrity that she brings, and really the love and kindness that she brings to patients, which is really wonderful. She completed her program back in February, and for the benefit of our community, she's actually working here at Micro Family Practice, both in the rural family practice, as well as bringing some of the specialty care that she learned through our clinic as an osteopath. So, congratulations, ma'am. Jeremy joined us last year in July, and with his roots in West Coast, he and his family came a long way for his own training. And if there's one way to describe Jeremy, it's a diamond in the rough. His quiet, thoughtful demeanor and reflective personality sometimes makes you wonder what's going on in his mind. That is until he gets the opportunity to share. And here his poetic nature shines through as as he artfully blends mind and body into his medical practice. He's a poet by nature. His participation in life shows beautiful tones and caves of character. I came across a reading the other day from the Capuchin with Lao-Tzu that I felt really rang true to how I feel about Jeremy. So I'd like to read it to you. Maybe I can do it with the art that he brings to this poetic reading. Bend and you will be whole. Curl and you will be straight. Keep empty and you will be filled. Grow old and you will be renewed. Have little and you will gain. Have much and you will be confused. Therefore the sage embraces the one and becomes a pattern to all under heaven. He does not make a show of himself, hence he shines. He does not justify himself, hence he becomes known. Does not boast of his ability, hence he gets his credit. It does not brandish his success, hence he endures. Does not compete with anyone, hence no one can compete with him. Indeed, the ancient saying, bend and you will remain whole, is no idle word. Nay, if you have really attained wholeness, everything will flock to you. Jeremy's going to be leading us going back to Washington, where he'll be practicing both family medicine and integrating his osteopathic skill set in a community where I think there are very few osteopaths. And so we're really going to miss you, Jeremy, and your soft heart. Last but not least is Emily's son. There's so many things I could say about Emily, but I'll try to stay with one point of thought, a trait which Emily is quick to point out I lack, but just as quick to support me in my own growth as a teacher. Emily came to us from Michigan last July, and from the beginning it was like the shot heard around the world. Her robust character and lack of walls lured me right into her web of incredibleness. She's, early on I thought I had figured her out, but little did I realize the dynamo that she really is. Never shy about jumping into challenges, always giving her best and never losing on opportunities for growth. She really is a true leader with palpable sensitivities of a seasoned clinician, and really this girl is unstoppable. And just this morning, we attended a newborn for the second day. And yesterday we were asked to see this little baby due to a tough transition into this world. He clearly had significant manifestations secondary to his traumatic delivery. And we had the opportunity to sit across from each other as we worked with children in our manual skills. And it was such a delight to work with someone who could connect with me at a level that was understanding where the patient was in front of us. This little infant had some significant plagiocephaly, had gone through with a vacuum extraction with a secondary shoulder dystocia, and was really hurting. And it was quite an art to see her come into the moment, to be able to appreciate where things were. And this morning we got to come back after our treatment yesterday, looking at a completely different head. I was wishing I would have done dynamic measurements of the cranium to see if we had actually had shrinkage of the size of the cranium, because it was amazing. And then we sat there and had another moment where we put this child into position of the dystocia, watched the physiology of this child unfold and make a change in front of our eyes, which was one of the most amazing things. And it's really what I think we're trying to bring as osteopaths in this specialty care to bring as an adjunct to the care within our own community. And it was such a delight to have someone with that skill set to be able to share with them. So I really appreciate her skills. She's going to be leaving us, and she'll be traveling back to Michigan with family, and I'm sure she'll be very happy with her husband Encore, hopefully getting back to friends and family. And she'll be joining faculty, and we'll also be doing a full spectrum
that's pretty much everything. I suspect there are skits planned. We'll probably take about a 20-minute break. People are